Welcome to Episode 1 of our Peak Performance online training series, How Life Really Works. At Bill Poett Performance Group, we win when our clients own, understand, love, and act on their unique magnificence. This training series is brought to you by Express Pros of Santa Barbara. They specialize in bringing the most qualified, best candidates to Santa Barbara's most progressive, successful companies. ReadyTalk, audio and web conferencing, where you have access to the finest technologies and the best support and service team in the business, and the Santa Barbara Human Resources Association. Hundreds of human resource professionals who are committed to raising the standards not only within their industry, but within all business in Santa Barbara County. My name is Bill Poett. I'm going to be your host, coach, and guide for today. I'm the author of the ABCs of Peak Performers, and I've spent the last 30 years studying human performance, traveling around the world, and working with the very, very best in business, the martial arts, military, and law enforcement. My career began 25 years ago as a close quarter combat instructor. My specialty was knife fighting, and it was my job to prepare men and teams for the worst possible environments. I had to make sure that physically, mentally, and emotionally they had the tools and resources to go into the toughest situations and win. The advantage that I have over other trainers and coaches is that I understand something that will allow me to accelerate the educational process, and that's called the truth of the blade. You see, in traditional education, the challenge all coaches, teachers, and parents have is the lag time between choice and consequence. When we're working with young people, we're trying to motivate them to get the best education possible. What they don't understand, and what they really can't understand, is they are making choices today, and the consequence or the outcome of those choices won't hit them for 5, 10, 15 years down the road. In a knife fight, the consequence of your choices are instantaneously. So when I show you a counter technique, you're going to know the validity and the value of that technique right now. And what happens is with that instant feedback, we can accelerate the learning curve. And so my specialty is in connecting you to the outcome of every choice you make. That's key, and that's going to be the underlying premise behind this training series. And the peak performers who come to me and use this technology are in every sector of business. We have government agencies, private, educational institutions, and nonprofit organizations. All of these entities need the information that's going to serve them today. It has to work. It has to be time-tested. It can't be the flavor of the month strategy. I want you to imagine something with me. I want you to imagine I want you to think about that, a formula that explains how life works and why it doesn't when it doesn't. I spent 30 years traveling all over the world, working with the best teams, the best masters, studying wisdom literature from all over the globe to find out exactly the secret, to find out the key to making life work, making it work consistently, and also understanding when it doesn't. What happens? What if there was a formula? And that's what we're going to be sharing today in this training seminar. I want you to understand that as your trainer and as your coach, 1 hour, 1 instant, 1 moment can change everything. And that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. As we travel through this adventure in learning, I'm looking for that switch. I'm looking for that trigger point. I'm looking for that moment that will change your perspective, change your paradigm, change how you see everything. This Shiken Harimitsu Daikomyo, it's a Japanese sea thought, and it means a moment. Every moment has the potential, has the possibility for enlightenment. Well, my moment hit me 30 years ago. I was a 20-year-old student at Cal Poly. I had earned my way onto academic probation. And we were talking about the truth of the blade earlier in this training. And my mom had been an educator, and she had tried for years to pound into me the importance of education, but I just didn't get it. I couldn't connect with how memorizing the state capitals were going to help me live a bigger, brighter, richer life, and so I had really checked out of school. We had a morning class. It was 7 a.m., and I'll never forget it. I had found out that we had a guest lecturer, and so I was preparing myself to spend or pay even less attention than I normally would. I was laying back in my chair. I had a cup of coffee on my desk, and I was just getting ready to check out when this man blasted into the classroom. And I literally meant he blasted into the classroom, and his energy was contagious. And as he paced back and forth regaling us with these stories, his passion was electric, and his purpose and his vision were magnetic. And I remember viscerally being drawn from the back of my seat to the front of my seat. And this gentleman had just run a marathon, and I remember thinking back with my 20-year-old brain, God, I couldn't run 26.2 miles. I don't think I could run a mile at that time in my life. And as I watched this man, a hunger and a burning developed inside of me. And, he was dating these 3 women, and I looked around the room, and that really captivated at least all of the young men's attention. He was going to another race in Alaska. He was trying to decide which one of these ladies to take with him. And he had just celebrated his 90th birthday. And that's when the glass shattered, and that's when my belief systems exploded or imploded, and everything that I had believed about the universe, everything that I had believed to be true was destroyed, and I was set on a path. I wanted to find it. I wanted the secret. I wanted the formula. I needed to understand what this man knew that allowed him at the age of 90 to have more passion, more power, more purpose than an entire room full of 20-year-olds. And that was the beginning of the adventure. I found the secret, and that is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you through this training series. Now, the harsh reality, and I know this having been a coach for the last 30 years, is that for 9 out of 10 Americans, life is not working. We are getting more, we are doing more, we are moving faster and faster, and the levels of depression and divorce and bankruptcy and just plain unhappiness are increasing every single day. And as your coach, as your trainer, it's my job to set you on a different path. It's my job to get you the tools and the training you need to live the most empowered, most beautiful life imaginable. The challenge that we're facing is that America is on the wrong path. We are on the more, bigger, faster, and it's a house of cards, and this house of cards is coming down fast. When you get home today, you're going to open your mailbox, and in your mailbox there are going to be all kinds of people telling you all the things that you need to buy, to purchase, to do, to live the American dream. And when we look at Whitney Houston, when we look at the tragedies all around us, the number of people addicted to drugs, to alcohol, to shopping, we know intuitively that this path that we are on isn't working. And so I need you to stop. I want you to really pay attention, because in this 30-minute presentation, I'm going to get you set on a path that is going to change everything. Because for 1 in 10 Americans, life is really working. They have vibrant health. They have the intellect to build the lives, the businesses and careers that they want. They are in passionate relationships, and they are serving the community around them. And right now, I know what you're asking. You want to know what is the key? Where is it hidden? And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. And this is the most exciting part of what I do as a coach. The key that I'm sharing with you is actually hidden in the past. And the 1% or the 10% of the people on this planet that are really making things work, they understand it. And it's time to bring it back to the future. I'm going to show you how Steve Jobs used the principles and teachings of Sun Tzu's 2,500-year-old strategy on war, how he used those strategies to build the most successful company on earth. There are 2 parts to this process, and it's essential to understand both. The formula has 2 phases. Phase 1 provides you with the knowledge. Phase 2 provides you with the heart or the spirit or the essence of this ancient formula. And again, I want to reiterate, only 1 in 10 Americans are understanding and applying both phases. And in reality, it's probably less than that. Probably about 3% of us are living a fully actualized life and implementing phase 1 and phase 2 of this ancient formula. It's my commitment as your coach and as your trainer to make sure that I set you on the path and I give you the tools and understanding you're going to need and make it into that 3%, to learn how life works and to be able to apply it so that you can have a brighter, richer, more joyful life. In this ancient peak performance formula, phase 1 is about the knowledge. It's about understanding how life works, and it is remarkably simple. In fact, it's so simple I can and do teach this to first graders. There are only 4 steps to how life works. Step 1, you must know what it is you want. What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? And this what needs to be clear and it needs to be compelling. And I want you to think about it. When I go into companies and I get the executive team, I get the people on the floor to share with me exactly why they're here, there's a profound lack of alignment. And in the lives of my individual clients, when I ask them what they want, they have very blurry, very gray visions. Well, how can the universe, how can you get what you want when you don't have clarity? And that takes us to step 2. Once you know exactly what it is you want, you go about finding out how you get it. And this is probably the easiest of this entire ancient formula. You need specific knowledge. You need coaching. And with the advent of technology, literally the best coaches, the best trainers are a button click away. Once you have defined exactly what you want, you need to set about getting the specific knowledge, set about developing the skills, and getting the coaches so you can learn how to do it. The third step, and the one that is most often overlooked, is why. Why is it essential? You must have a burning desire. You know, life is short, and all of us come with an expiration date. And I don't know if your expiration date is in 5 days or 50 years, but you can't waste your life on activities, gathering things, spending time doing valueless things if they're not driving you in the direction of your dreams and your passions. So once you decide what you want and you've gone about getting the specific skills you need, you have to attack that goal. And I mean you've got to attack that goal with why. Why is it essential? You need to have a burning desire, because that burning desire is going to take you into the 4th step. And the 4th step is our when step. When will it happen? You have to budget the work. You have to take massive action, and you have to do it. All of the meditation and all of the intention and all of the prayer and all of the focus on earth is valueless. And the truth is, all of the knowledge on earth is valueless until you apply it. And so that's it. The knowledge portion of this formula is so easy. Let's take a look at it. How does life work? There are only 4 steps. Define exactly what you want. Get access to the best coaching. Get access to education. Get access to information. How do you do it? Develop a burning desire. Quantify why it's essential. Why must you have it now? And then go out and do the work. I mean, that's easy, right? Anybody can do that. What? How? Why? When? Well, if the formula is so easy, then why are we failing? Look at America today. 1/3 of Americans are obese. 69% of American students never go on to higher education, never get a degree beyond high school. The divorce rate, the most important relationship, the most important commitment we will ever make, we have a 50% failure rate. And in business, where we go out into the world and make a commitment to serve other people, to actually act on our knowledge and information, our businesses are failing. Half of them fail in the first 7 years. So if that formula is so easy and it isn't working, what's missing? And this is the key. This is the secret, and this is why you're here. The secret lies in understanding the ancient elements and the energies they bring to the formula. And this secret was taught thousands of years ago. It was taught by Plato. It was taught by Socrates. You can find it in Buddhism. You can find it taught in yoga and the martial arts. And it's been lost in history, and it's the key to driving your life forward and to building something bright, beautiful, and sustainable, and most importantly, enjoying the process. There are 4 basic fundamental energies. There is earth, water, fire, and wind. And we're going to take a look at them, and they match up with phase 1 of the formula. And when you understand how the formula works into the process, you're going to have the fuel to drive the engine of your life and to move it forward. When you set a goal, the what's in your life, goals have to come from earth energy, and earth energy is grounded. It's resolute. It's where leadership comes from. Leaders are not wishy-washy. Leaders are not flighty people. Great leadership comes from grounded individuals. I want you to think about our Declaration of Independence. This document set the stage work, set the groundwork to build and create the greatest nation in history. And it began with a declaration, not a wish, not a whim. And it's really funny because we innately understand these energies. When a person has fractured negative, what we call wind energy, what are they told to do? They're told to calm down. Look, if you're going to set this goal, you've got to ground yourself. You can't make it a wish. It has to be a declarative statement. So you have to learn how to marry earth energy when you set your goals. Not I want something, I will. Now, the how component, this is so exciting. This is the water energy. And water is fluid, it's adaptable, it's always changing forms, whether it be a gas, a liquid, a solid. It's always it's detached. It doesn't matter whether it's in the air, whether it's on the side of a mountain, or whether it is in the ocean. Water element, the how, science, knowledge. Science is detached observation. And when you are learning how to achieve your goals, you've got to get rid of all of your bias, and you have to get rid of all of your prejudice and all of your preconceived notions. And you have to move into what we call this water realm and be fluid and adaptable. And you're looking for clarity. And it's clarity and it's truth and it's understanding that are going to give you the skill sets that you need to develop to bring your goal into fruition. And think about it, when you're in a fight or when you're stuck, what do people tell you? They tell you you're too close. You've got to step back. You've got to get some clarity. That's the beauty of counseling. Counselors can look at, business counselors or professional counselors, they can look at your life from a detached perspective, see what isn't working and why. Now, we're going to shift to the opposite and complementary energy. Once you know what it is, when you have set that clear, compelling goal, that you've made that declarative statement, you've gone up and you've developed the skills that you need. Now we're going to go into the fire energy. And fire energy is connected, it's consuming, it's burning, it's a burning desire, it's pure passion. And this fire energy is the energy that literally fuels. It is the connection to the purpose. When those men, those delegates signed the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a death certificate. If we failed, they were all going to be hung as traitors. It's that level of commitment, it's that level of being all in that drives the success of your goals. So when you look back over goals that you've set, that you've failed, there's a very, very good chance it's because you didn't have that fire energy, you didn't have that spark. You know, a peak performing athlete, how do we describe them? She was on fire. So it's driving that energy into the goal. So we've got our what? Earth energy. We have our water, our detached, our scientific. We have our fire, our connected energy. And what's the fourth energy? The fourth energy is the opposite complement to earth. If earth energy is grounded, if earth energy is solid, then we're going to need wind energy. And wind energy is movement. Wind energy is flow and transformation. Wind energy is where we just do it. And I don't care if you want to lose weight, if you want to run a Fortune 500 company, It is massive action. This is the elbow grease component. I think it was Edison that said genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, and this is where you are doing it. And so when we look at Americans, we know the process. You set a goal, you get coaching, it's got to be important to you, and then you got to do the actions. But when we fail to employ or infuse our goals with these energies, that's why only 1 in 10 Americans are really successful. Only 1 in 10 really understand the secret of infusing each of these elements into the process. Earth, water, fire, and wind take you to ether. It takes you anywhere you want. This is the playground of all creation. So let's take a look at this model. On the right, you can see the key opening this ancient model. And on top, we have the earth energy. The earth energy is grounded. And this is the leader. This is the ruler king. Directly across from earth energy, we have action. We have movement. If in a company, the earth energy would be the CEO, the wind, the movement energy would be operations. If you go to the left, you have the water energy, disconnected. This is research and development. These are your scientists. These are the people building and creating your processes. On the right side, we have the opposite energy, connected, fire energy. These are your sales and marketing and public relations people. These are the teams that are telling your story and connecting with your clients and driving this product out into the marketplace. And when you have all of these energies in motion, when you have all of these energies in balance within yourself and within your company, you have success. And what is so exciting, I've only been working with you for about 20 minutes, and in 20 minutes' time, I've shared with you the seeds, the foundation of exactly how life works. Let's take a look at it. Earth energy, what? What do you want? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? You have to have a clear, compelling goal. Remember, it has to be grounded. You make a declarative statement. It isn't a wish. Once you set your goal, you shift into the water realm. You need specific knowledge. This is how do I get it? What knowledge, what skills, what coaching, what education? No attachment, no bias. You are looking for the best process, the best coaching. And if a new tool comes along, you go to it because you are only connected to the result, not the process. Next, our fire energy. You've set the goal. You know how to get it. You've developed the skill sets. And now you sustain and you maintain a burning desire. You know life is short. You know, we all have an expiration date, and so you're only going to spend your breath, you're only going to spend your energy on the things that matter, driving your life, driving you forward. And then lastly, the wind element, taking massive action every single day. That top 10% that has the vibrant energy, the education, the loving relationships, and the massive success and service in life, they get up every single day. They're clear on what they want. They know how to do it. They have a burning desire, and they take massive action. And when you put those 4 elements together, it takes you into the heart. This is the key. That's where all of your results, that's where your dreams are turned into results. That's where you manifest. That's where you create. That's where success lies. I am so excited about having you on the team. I'm so excited about being your coach. And I want you to look at this word. Are you a hero? Does this fit? When you wake up in the morning, when you go out into the world, do you see yourself as the champion in your life? Do you see yourself as the champion for your family, for your company, for your community? Do you take responsibility for the world around you? Are you always getting better, always getting stronger? Are you a hero? Because this ancient formula, this ancient archetype is the archetype of a hero. And being a hero is a conscious act. Or have you fallen prey to the model that has attacked and insidiously gone into the hearts and souls of America today? Do you wake up and are you a victim? Do you go through life with a why me mentality and life is too hard and I don't have enough time and I don't have enough money and mom was mean to me and all the other thousands of excuses and blame and finger pointing that I hear and resonate so frequently in this world? I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about these outcomes. If you wear the mantle of hero, if that is your archetype, if that's how you see yourself, that's going to take you in a direction. It's a choice. If you wear the mantle of victim, that's going to take you in another direction. And so my challenge to you as we begin this really exciting transformational process where you're going to learn how to use this ancient formula to bring vibrant health, to bring success to your company and your teams and your relationships, you need to choose. The world needs heroes right now. I need you on the team. I want you to go back. I want you to review and watch this over and over again. I want you to share this training with your friends, with your families, with your coworkers. I'm going to invite you to Episode 2. And in Episode 2, we really get into the nuts and bolts and mechanics. Episode 2 is titled The Formula in Action. I'm going to show you the destructive cycle. This formula is always in play. And when a person's life isn't working, I'm going to show you how they have misunderstood and misused this formula to bring about tragedy and pain and failure into the life. Then we're going to get into the creative cycle, and I'm going to give you specific, clear examples on how you use this formula to create, to bring about the things, to take authority. Think about that, the word authority. I want you to be the author in your life. I want you to define yourself as the brilliant, powerful, magnificent person I know you to be. So I am going to love sharing this next really exciting episode with you. In the meantime, there's some steps that you can take. You can access me. You can get some training. I want you to sign up right now. You're online. Go to my website. It's billpoett.com and sign up for my free cup of joy. It comes out Monday through Fridays, and we are constantly sharing training tips, inspiration, motivation. These tools are coming to you 5 days a week to drive you and your life forward. Make sure you pass this link on to your family members, your friends, and your team. My book, The ABCs of Peak Performers, 26 Simple Steps to an Empowered, Joyful Life. You need to get this book. Go to Amazon right now and order it. And I'd love to coach you. I'd love to coach your team. So if you're interested in learning about having me serve as your private coach and trainer, all you need to do is go to my website. Again, my website is billpoett.com. You can call me. My phone number is 805-637-8598, or you can email me, bill@billpoett.com. We have begun an adventure, and this adventure has brought me more joy, more power. It has opened up more joys for me than I can possibly explain in just this short time that we spent together. In this 12-episode training series, you're going to get 12 30-minute focused, laser beam, high-impact sessions with me, and I'm going to take you through this formula step by step. We're going to go into physical training, intellectual training, your relationships, team buildings, how to drive your family forward, how to drive your company forward, and most importantly, we are going to have a great time in the process. I am so excited about being your coach. I am 100% committed to your success. I know there's a hero residing in you. I can't wait to help you bring that person out. Remember, go to my website, billpoett.com, sign up for your cup of joy today, and I can't wait for our next training session. Until then, live in power with wisdom, love, and service. God bless you, and thanks for training with me.
Thank you. Please stand by.